Robert Lee Sr., supervisor at ringside, Walter Stone, along with the Nevada State Athletic Commission, the chairman, Dr. James Nave. Introducing to you our judges scoring this bout, Chuck Jumpa, Glenn Hamata, and Stuart Winston. Presented to you at this time, our referee in charge of this bout, working in this his 91st world title bout, introducing Mills Lane. All right, fans, here we go with the IBF Heavyweight Championship of the World, scheduled for 12 rounds of boxing. Introducing to you first the challenger on my right, fighting out of the blue corner, entering the ring wearing white trunks with black trim, hailing from Pretoria, South Africa, now fighting out of Newport Beach, California. He weighed in at 224 pounds. He is undefeated in his campaign in the ring with 36 wins, no losses, 21 wins coming by way of knockout. Please welcome the challenger, ranked the #1 heavyweight contender by the IBF, introducing the White Buffalo, Francois Botha. Opponent across the ring is the defending world champion on my left, fighting out of the red corner, entering the ring wearing green trunks with white lettering, fighting out of and proudly representing Detroit, Michigan. He weighed in at 219 pounds. His record includes 37 wins, only 1 defeat, 30 wins coming by way of knockout. Please welcome the former light heavyweight world champion, and now in his second reign as the heavyweight title holder, he is the IBF heavyweight champion of the world, introducing Double M, Michael Moorer. And once again, our referee in charge of this bout now to give instructions, Mills Lane.
All right, Teddy, if he goes, be quiet. If he goes right here, I'm not going to call it low, all right? Right here is going to be all right, understand? All right, gentlemen, champion for the world. I've already given you instruction in the dressing room. I expect a tough, clean fight. Protect yourself at all times. Any questions from the challenger? The champion. Let's get it on. Let's get it on.
The unmistakable play of Mills Lane. Frans Botha, undefeated his ring record, though, not a who's who of boxing. Tonight on this mammoth stage before Tyson Holyfield, big opportunity to silence his critics, in which Michael Moorer will show up tonight. The one whose 12 heavyweight fights up until his win over Holyfield lasted an average of 5 rounds, or the Moorer whose last 4 fights averaged 11. A champion who loved to war in the past, but far more conservative and inconsistent of late.
And he blames a nasty divorce with a child custody thing that had him all confused. He says that's all behind him, everything's straightened out, and he's back to being Michael the Vicious. And so let's see if he is.
Well, I'll tell you what, I think this first round is going to be very important for both fighters to taste and test that power. Whoever's got the power in the first round should start out with a big edge.
Moorer works out of the southpaw stance, not known as a fast starter, although he did start out fast in round 1 against Axel Schultz, but then settled into a more methodical pace. He has lost his focus and gets lackluster sometimes in the later rounds, which drives Teddy Atlas crazy.
Now, Frans Botha is a struggle. Oh, nice right hand by Botha. He likes to brawl. He likes to, he's a beer barrel going at it. But
there's a sharp right hook by Michael Moorer that tagged the cheek of Botha.
Both will land his shots looping to right, as you saw there, looping around, looping under. He is a little more unorthodox, comes from some awkward angles, and is effective in that awkward style. Michael Moorer, classic stand-up boxer puncher from the southpaw style, equally difficult to face because he is so strong, and southpaws are always tough to fight.
Against the lefty Moorer, Botha will need a good right hand, followed by a left to the body. Those body shots taking out the legs. The jab should be relatively ineffective against Moorer. You don't want to lay on the ropes against Michael as well, or stay too long on the inside and test his power. Try to get in and out as fast as possible, I would think, if you're Frans Botha.
Botha's been doing all the fighting here, even though it's not effective fighting, but he is popping. Well, I'll tell you what he's doing. He's throwing a heck of a right hand.
A roundhouse right followed up by a short right.
I think he
Moorer lost his balance.
Yeah, I think he almost actually tackled him. His hand wrapped around his head and pulled him in a little bit, but it wasn't a real effective shot.
Yeah, well, that wasn't a punch. That wasn't him getting hit. But that was a punch. That was a right hand. He's been landing that right hand with surprising authority.
Straight right hand by Frans Botha, countering straight right by Michael Moore. Swing and a miss with the left hook. Oh, and momentarily dazed is Michael Moore. Frans Botha having a big first round.
Botha seems pretty strong. He's landing that right hand. Moore's coming back to his credit, keeping his hands up and not panicking, but that right hand is working for Botha right now.
Well, they're working at 2 speeds. Botha's working in full speed ahead, and Moore again looks like he's going 50 miles an hour.
A crunching straight right to the body by Frans Botha, and Botha with all kinds of confidence. He's in a lot better shape aerobically, working very closely on his conditioning heading into this fight.
Well, I can't wait to hear what Teddy Atlas is going to tell him in the red corner between rounds, because he's asleep. He better wake up.
Final seconds of the opening round, a productive one for Frans Botha. Again, a big right uppercut to the body by Botha.
Too late. I know it's the first round. Now go ordinary. Now get yourself together. You gave him that round. We can't be giving him rounds. Put your legs out straight. Lay up that water. We can't be giving him rounds because he's bullshitting you and he's going to get braver and braver. You hear me? Now listen to me closely. Let him also swallow. Now listen. Don't stay at that medium range. He's throwing those looping right hands. If you're staying right at that medium range, you're going to get hit with it. Double the jab up and close that distance. All right? Close that distance. Move you right away from his
All right, let's see where Moore gets his attention, Botha, and then watch as Botha makes him pay for it. He makes him set up again, and then comes the right hand. Bow. And see, that was not really a right hand fight. It went over the top of his head. It was one of those Bruce Sullivan type of fights that went over the head and buckled him. I don't know why. But did you hear Teddy Atlas? That's one of the best young cornermen in the world today, and he's working in an all-star cast. Ralph Citro, Lou Duva, and Teddy Atlas. Is that a multi-million-dollar corner or what?
Duva, the #1 cheerleader for Moore. Meanwhile, round 2, both his confidence got a big jump start in the opening round when he discovered he could connect repeatedly with his right hand.
And Teddy Atlas said it too. He said, you gave that round away, so you can figure out how I've scored it. Even Teddy Atlas said, you gave the round away. Don't do it. Don't let him get any courage and build it up and put some momentum together.
It's a curious thing about Moore. He can talk about his mind being there, but then it isn't. I mean, you know you don't want to start like this. You know he didn't want to start like that, giving away that round and getting hit that hard.
How many times have we seen Teddy Atlas need to deliver those rambunctious motivational speeches in the corner to Michael Moore?
Well, he's lucky he's got Teddy Atlas. He's lucky he's got him.
It's a very unique marriage, a strange relationship, but quite a chemistry.
You know, to look at Frans Botha, you don't see a tremendous amount. He doesn't look like a ripped, sculpted guy, but he has unusually heavy hands and pretty good strength and power. He has what we call heavy hands. When he hits you, that transition time is a lot.
But Botha certainly looking a lot more physically fit than we have ever seen him before. He's a little flabby around the midsection, but his shoulders seem a little broader.
He's like a guy we used to have called Two-Tone Tony Galento. You didn't want to see him in an alley. You didn't want to get in a beer room fight with him, and he looked like this, but he dropped the great Joe Louis.
Time. Okay, and wait a minute. Get that off that elbow. The elbow. Come on. Come on, go.
The take charge, Mills Lane.
You don't get away with anything in his courtroom.
He is a district. He is a judge from Reno, Nevada.
Sets a standard, and that's by which things will be followed.
Yeah.
Well, Botha not only pulling it off offensively there, but also has a good heart and a pretty good chin. He got off to a good start against Axel Schultz, you recall, as well, in his last fight. Almost a year ago, they took that title away when he tested positive for steroids, but he claimed it was for an injured arm, and it was prescribed by a doctor.
Well, you know, if you look at his body, there doesn't seem to be signs of anabolic steroids, big ripped muscles. So maybe a lot of truth to that. But Michael Moore is starting to get the rings now with the jab in the left hand.
Moore is starting to come on now here in the end of round 2.
You see there, Moore slipped that right hand. He's getting out of the way of the right hand now. It's not finding a home, and he's countering with the straight left, doing a good job.
But you know, Botha doesn't stop. He keeps right on going. I mean, he's getting some shots here, but he keeps right on fighting back.
You know, he does it at such an lethargic type pace that it's amazing to me how successful he's been. He just keeps coming, but never really quickly, never really fast.
You know, that right hand he just threw was fast and hard. I mean, he lulls you. He lulls you in the sleep.
Final 10 seconds of round number 2. A digging right uppercut by Botha to the midsection of Mora. Let's go over to Jim Gray with some other champions.
All right, thank you very much, Steve. I'm now joined by two of the world champion New York Yankees, Tino Martinez and Timmy Raines. Tino, your first fight. How does the atmosphere in this building right now compare to a World Series game?
Well, it's a lot more tense, I think, because at any second a big blow could be thrown and everybody's kind of right at that big moment. In a World Series game, it's a course of 9 innings, and you get a big blow, you can recover and come back later on. But right here, it's just from any second now, something could happen.
Hey, Timmy, let me ask you, the adulation and all of the accolades that the Yankees continue to receive, it's like the parade has never ended.
Well, it's like a dream that never ends. You always wonder what it would be like, and it took me a long time to get there, and I hope it never ends.
A lot of people used to hate the Yankees. Doesn't seem like that here in public, does it?
Well, that's true. I think they all jumped on the bandwagon, and I think it's great.
Timmy, Tino, congratulations on a great year. Many of the other Yankees here behind us. Let's go back over to Steve.
All right, Jim, again in the main event, it's New York versus Atlanta, Tyson versus Holyfield in what many consider the World Series of boxing. Here we go, round 3. Michael Moore in the green trunks, the champion. Frans Botha in the white, the challenger, and Botha has done a real nice job, although Moore is showing signs in the last round coming back.
The last round, Moore fought a good round, fought a sharp and smart round, and he took that round. That's what he has to do. He's got Botha on the retreat. What Botha told me in interviews, he has to get Michael going backwards. He can't do it if he's going backwards.
But Botha has a tendency to lower his left hand, and Moore has been able to jab over it. Here's a straight right hand by Botha, but doing no damage. Defended well by Mora. Botha able to punch his way out, comes charging forward. Watch the head, says Mills Lane, as they came close together. Good pick there defensively again by Mora.
Moore starting to box much better now, much more determined, throwing more meaningful punches. That was the kind of even round.
Blistering left hook by Michael Moore. Ferocious punching power.
Moore is the puncher of the two. He's doing a good job, but you see, he also watches his pace. I think Botha has to push him, frustrate him, and maybe even outright charge him a little more often.
Little head fake by Botha to get out of the way. Watch the heads again, says Mills Lane. Very dangerous on the inside.
But those are little inside uppercuts. He's on the other side of him. You can't see him. You can see his head going up and down. That was the inside uppercuts that Mora was landing, not heads.
Hey, one step back. Come on, hey. Watch the heads. Come on.
We're approaching the final minute of round 3. Again, the warning from Mills Lane about the heads.
Moore is starting to block the punches and counter much more effectively. Botha's going to have to go to something new.
Yeah, he's established a pattern now. He's coming on.
Oh, Botha is locked. Combination. Mora looking to finish Botha off. A flurry by Mora. Can Botha hang on? Looking to hold on physically to Mora. He's
I'll tell you what, Steve, he's trying, but he's not going to make it if he keeps putting his hands up in the air like that.
There's the timer remaining in round 3. Can Botha withstand this barrage by the left-hander Mora? Oh, a straight right to the head of Botha.
Well, you know that Moore is a great finisher once he gets you in trouble. Both in desperate trouble, bleeding, his mouth open.
Botha is bleeding.
He's going to make it through this round, I think, Steve, but I'll tell you what, this sets a precedent for the rest of the night. His chin is not beyond Michael Moore's reach.
He has to survive 8 more seconds. It looks like the right eye of Botha that has opened up. Oh, at the bell. Mora lands again.
You know what? You never went to the goddamn rope. You never went to the goddamn rope when you was in the gym. Sit down, sit down. Sit down, motherfucker. Come on, baby. Come on. Give me some water, man. Sit down, motherfucker. This is it. Here, Jens. You never went to the ropes in the goddamn gym. You understand? Did you? All right? Now you got to stay in the center of the ring. You understand?
Watch the trouble that Botha gets in. As he gets hammered, it's you see that punch is already effective. Now comes the killer instinct of Moore. Moore comes from all angles. When he gets you in trouble, you don't know where that punch is coming. What a battering he's taken, and there's no defense for it, as Frans Botha is helpless, virtually helpless.
Sterling McPherson in the corner of Frans Botha, screaming at his man, you never went to the ropes in training. Why are you doing it now? Very intense, a major sense of urgency in the corner of Frans Botha.
Well, in Botha's corner, they're saying you never went to the ropes in the gym, and he should have said, yeah, and I never had Michael Moore pounding on me in the gym.
That's exactly right. Michael Moore has something to say and something to do about it, Freddie, and I'll tell you what. Right now, he has tasted the power. He didn't think he could get hurt, and now he's getting hurt again.
Moore is trying to bag the White Buffalo here in round 4.
And the trouble is it's so early in the fight that Moore has got all of his energy. All of his energy. And Frans Botha looks like a spent fighter already. I mean, he's almost knocked out in that last round, and he's weary. Whereas Moore looks nice and fresh.
Yeah, the conditioning can only take you so far when you're faced with this kind of power.
Well, the punishment is what wears you out.
Yes.
You know, Michael is a crisper puncher. We talked about it before, sharper combinations. It's the combinations, the second, third, and fourth shot that are going to make the big difference.
Moore just needed a little wake-up call after round 1. And it has been all Michael Moore since the bell to win round 1.
Well, if Moore can look very impressive here finishing and finishes off Botha, then he is really the next up for Tyson. He will make the next fight big. If he looks good, if he looks good here.
If Tyson beats Holyfield.
That's right. That's right. Thank you for correcting me.
That's quite all right.
I take those things lightly.
Minute 20 left in round 4.
Botha assured me he's going to push Michael Moore back. When he does this, it's okay. He gets the better of Mike a little bit, but he has not been able to be effective because he apparently does not have good defensive skills while he's on the attack. You have to have automatic defensive skills almost built in when you're attacking.
Yeah, but has Michael Moore let Botha off the hook here? He seems to have pulled back a little bit, and Botha looks like he's starting to dance around now and looking to regroup in the final minute of the 4th round.
Well, I don't know if he's let him off though completely, but he's let him off though for now. That's for certain.
We'll see what happens from this point on. Moore continues to press the attack, but a very game Frans Botha hangs in there. He telegraphs those right uppercuts toward the body of Moore, and a straight right hand by Botha.
Nothing on the punches,
right.
Nothing. Feather punches.
A lot on the punches of Michael Moore in sharp contrast.
What a nice body shot that was by Michael Moore.
You know, I want to see what happens when Moore comes up the middle with one of those big left uppercuts. That's where he's going to be really effective as well.
Yeah. All right, let's step back, please. Let's step back. Here we go. Come on. Come on.
And there's the bell for round 4. Well, two-time world heavyweight champ Evander Holyfield dancing around in the dressing room, getting ready for Mike Tyson in our main event. Holyfield's last 4 fights, stamina has been a factor. Whether it's a product of his medical history or the wear and tear and age catching up, stamina has played a role of late. And it was in his loss to Michael Moore in '94 when he first looked lethargic, not his usual energetic self. We'll see how he handles himself, particularly early against Mike Tyson. Showtime executives at ringside on hand. There's Matt Blank, the president and CEO of Showtime Networks Incorporated, looking on rather intently. So here we go, set for round 5, scheduled for 12, the IBF heavyweight title. Michael Moore getting some second instructions from Teddy Atlas.
And Sterling just told Botha, you got a coward in front of you.
I'll bet you that's news to a lot of men who've been starched by him.
I bet Botha said, where? I didn't see him. I didn't see one.
Well, you know, trainers will do almost anything to build up their fighters' confidence, build up their egos, and get them going. So anything can be said and or done.
Yeah, but you got to maintain some level of credibility. I mean, you can tell a lot of things to a fighter, but he ain't dumb. He's sitting there saying, oh, yeah.
Frans Botha knows the real story.
Yeah, somebody's
the one fighting. Moore 37-1 with 30 knockouts. The only loss to George Foreman. He was controlling the fight for 9 rounds to get knocked out by a straight right in the 10th by Big George, who was then 45. And Frans Botha undefeated, 36-0, 21 knockouts, but a very questionable.
Yeah, but you got to maintain some level of credibility. I mean, you can tell a lot of things to a fighter, but he ain't dumb. He's sitting there saying, oh, yeah.
Frans Botha knows the real story.
Yes, somebody's
He's the one fighting. Moore 37-1 with 30 knockouts. He only lost to George Foreman. He was controlling the fight for 9 rounds. He got knocked out by a straight right in the 10th by Big George, who was then 45. And Frans Botha undefeated, 36-0, 21 knockouts, but a very questionable list of opponents.
You know, I talked to Michael Moore about that knockout because a lot of people thought he just decided to not get up and to heck with this whole thing. But he said, Bobby, you know you've been hit. Sometimes your legs just don't cooperate with your head. You're saying get up, but nothing's working, and I know what he means.
Yeah, and from the category, just in case, remember Moore dominated Foreman, as I mentioned, and then found himself on the canvas in the 10th round. Of course, Frans Botha is not George Foreman.
By several light years. He's not George Foreman.
Chronologically,
yeah,
yes.
by any measure of time or weight.
Oh, a wild right hand there that missed by Frans Botha, looking for the end-all punch there in one fell swoop.
Michael digging a couple nice right hooks to the body, but he seems to have slowed down a little bit. Maybe he thinks that if he lets Botha just punch, he can maybe punch himself out and unload back, but he just seems to be a little slow right now, not really getting off as he should.
And Botha just hammering away with the right hook.
He's blowing around. He's letting this round go to Moore. You know, I have to take my hat off to Botha. Botha was out on his feet. He came back and just passed that last round. Now he's carrying action here.
Low blow by Frans Botha. Mills Lane tells him to get those punches up. Well, another low blow. We mentioned now Moore retaliates with a low blow of his own. Now he goes upstairs. The infighting continues. Now they break.
See, Moore staying tight on the inside, not on the tail end of that right hand most of the time, trying to cut that distance and compromise the power.
Botha just walking into punishment right now.
Well, Botha just landed 3 good right hands of the kind that George Foreman landed, like sweeping right hands. So what is Moore doing taking those punches? He shouldn't be taking those right hands.
They're both taking a lot of punches. Straight right. Now, a combination by Moore working to the face. Back comes Botha and a left hook by Moore. Oh, what a furious exchange.
See, it's a very good pace for heavyweights.
See, that's just right hand. Count the number of right hands. It's been a right hand festival for Botha.
They are just winging away, wailing away at each other in the final seconds of round 5. Straight right hand, but a grazing blow by Moore. Luckily for Botha.
Botha did very well that round.
All right. That's when I play hands down, right here. All right.
Don't get tired. That's the round. You come back.
All right, Jens. Here. Come on. Here. Give him some water. All right. Now you're fucking doing what I want you to do. You understand? Now you're back in the fight. Take a deep breath. Come on. Come on, baby. Rinse the mouthpiece out. Right here.
I'm into this guy.
Here.
Come on, give me more. I'll give you more. Open up your mouth. Do you hear me? Do you? Well, do something now. Don't wait till tomorrow, because tomorrow will be too late. Do you hear me? You got to deal with it for minutes. You don't do it, you're going to deal with it for life. Now, look, you're walking into right hands, goddammit. Move to your right. All right? Bump the jab and let that straight left hand step in. You're throwing wide punches. All right? And punch in moderation.
Here we go to round number 6. The two corners fired up. Sterling McPherson with Frans Botha and Teddy Atlas with Michael Moore.
Sterling McPherson was a good fighter, and he's a good trainer. He tries. He's not quite Teddy Atlas, but he sure does motivate a fighter, and he believes that Botha has taken that round. I did too, and that makes it kind of an interesting fight. I mean, it's not all Michael Moore as we thought. Things are evening out. I got it 48-47.
Well, I tell you, I have it 48-46 for Moore. And just coming back to the corner after the last round, Botha looked somewhat defeated. He had a defeated look on his face, but he came right out, threw the first punch, and he just answers that bell.
Botha looking for the uppercut straight up the middle, but missed.
And he keeps putting that right hand in there. You know, it's like Akawandi's right hand in the last fight. He just keeps landing it. I mean, how much can Moore take of that? I mean, Moore's not got that tough a beard. He's been down a lot.
Botha comes off a very good round. As you heard his trainer, Sterling McPherson, say, now you're back in the fight. That might be stretching it just a bit, but Moore did look better in the last, Botha did look better.
By scoring, I think he is back in the fight. If you're looking at the way the tide is going, of course, Moore looks like he's beginning to dominate.
Online has Moore ahead 4-1. They had Botha winning the first round. Moore won the next 4.
Yeah, it's a pretty accurate fight right there. The last round, Botha won the majority of the round, and Moore closed it strong. You could have thrown it to Botha or Moore. The last round was very tight.
Very even. I gave it to Botha because it was a surprise that Moore wasn't doing more, and Botha's doing all the action here. Although Moore closed it nicely. Well, can you imagine the king-size carrot that you got in front of you, a Tyson fight, and you're not taking this guy out of there after you had him in trouble? That's unexplainable to me.
Well, that to me is motivation enough for Michael Moore. The color green as in money. Whether it's Tyson or Holyfield, a slapping right hand by Francois Botha.
You know, and that's just it, too. The louder the punch sounds, the more of a slap it is. It sounds like a slap. It is a slap.
Now, toe-to-toe in the center of the ring.
That last little hook was a bass drum getting hit. That was a hard punch by Moore.
Botha's got to be careful. He's been resting on the ropes where he gets in trouble, and his corner, you may hear screaming, "Don't fall asleep on us."
You know, if you look at Botha, he doesn't represent any major threats in any one area. Not a one-punch knockout artist, certainly not a speedster, hasn't got great defensive skills, but he seems to get the job done against big, tough, top-quality opponents. But I'll tell you, I was lobbying myself to fight him, and I think Michael Moore should just step it up a little bit. He's right there on the edge of closing the door here.
It makes you wonder where Michael Moore is in the grand scheme. Can he beat a Riddick Bowe or a Lennox Lewis? Two guys who struggled in their last fights. A thumping straight right hand by Botha at the bell. So here at the MGM Grand, the MGM Hotel and Casino, the city of entertainment, the scene for 3 of Mike Tyson's 4 wins since his resumed career. Later tonight, he'll be taking on Evander Holyfield in defense of his WBA heavyweight championship. The folks do not want a repeat of what happened last time against Bruce Sheldon. Here's Bill Boggs.
Yeah. All right, with me right now, James Caan. You've had a few fights in movies. How's this look to you?
In movies, yes.
Yeah, for example, James Caan with the Can and the Godfather. That was a big fight. What do you think about this? You think both is holding his own, or is?
Well, from my vast boxing knowledge, my encyclopedia of knowledge, it seems to me that that Michael, if he circled right, he has a habit of both dropping his jab if he came over the top of the hook. Let's look. Watch this.
Thanks, James.
Ooh.
That was James Caan. I thought that was Sonny Corleone, didn't you?
The Godfather.
He looked just like Sonny Corleone.
A man who knows from being riddled.
Yeah, I'm not having trouble at toll booths.
Round 7. Let's see what Botha can pull here against the champion, Michael Moore. This for the IBF heavyweight title, scheduled for 12. Right off the top of Moore's head. Good duck under move by Moore to elude.
Now, I'll tell you, some of those punches on top of the head hurt a little more than they might appear. The head, yes, indeed, is hard, but there's a soft spot up there, and it does hurt, as does the temple shots.
The fight doctor just got sprayed
right in the eye.
You all right?
Yeah.
Now Moore just barreling in, bulldozing his way in on Frans Botha, who is able to spin out of trouble.
See, when Michael drives his punches underneath like that, he's got to then just come straight up. Came straight up and into Botha because he's got him compromised. He's got the leverage. He's on the inside, and he can hurt Botha.
Botha goes 6'2", 224. Moore is 6'2", 219. They're almost even. 2-inch reach advantage for Moore. Almost mirror images. Slapping right again by Botha, not doing any damage. Then he goes to the midsection with the right uppercut. Again, Mora just shakes it off easily. Straight right hand.
Keeps his hands tight, too, Steve. You see how tight he keeps his hands? Hard to hit him clean. Big George threw a nice one down the pipe, and Michael opened up and looked, and there it was.
I think that wouldn't happen in 200 times so far. He was getting killed. That fight should have been stopped, and around the 8th round, he was getting such a beating.
And you wonder if Botha can draw from that wild episode for inspiration. Logic says unlikely, but oftentimes logic and boxing don't go hand in hand. Now again, Botha off the ropes. He's got to be careful. That's where Mora wants him. On the ropes. Oh, a straight right hand that staggered Botha momentarily.
Actually, that was a little bit of a right hook. He was compromised with his feet, but as a southpaw, he just kind of slanted it in.
Botha comes right back, Bobby, with a straight right of his own. Then a right uppercut to the jaw of Mora.
Well, Botha's a gutsy guy. He didn't come here to lose, so now we have a fight.
And the crowd really getting behind the challenge of Botha. Botha hammers away. Back comes Mora with a right hook. Back comes Botha with a straight right. Tremendous action in the center of the ring. Furious exchange.
And the action was 80% Botha, and he's still at it. Botha's still at it. He's still punching.
What heart being displayed by Frans Botha.
The biggest key here, the difference being that Botha's not putting his hands up. Michael blocks his shots, then fires. Botha gets hit, then fires, then gets hit again. He's got to bring his hands up. He's got to cover up.
A smacking right hook by Frans Botha. Mora counters, but Botha now with more steam on his punches as we head for the bell.
A great round for Botha. Great round for Botha.
I'm telling you, no, be quiet. You don't want to fight no more? I swear to God, I will have this man stop the fight if you don't want to fight. Do you hear me? Do you hear me? Do you understand that? Michael, do you understand that? Look, if you freaking don't want to fight, then you freaking might as well stop right now. Are you going to start fighting? You're behind in this fight. Damn it, take this. You're behind in this fight. Now listen, you're standing at a distance letting them pot shot you with right hand. You can either feint him, let it miss, and then step in with your jab. All right? Feint him coming off the right, or just step in with double jabs with straight left hand. When he throws those right hands, you got to hit him with left. And look, you got to make the choice to punch instead of not punch.
You got to punch, Mike. You got to punch.
Another scorching from Teddy Atlas, and Atlas is in the right. Here we go, round number 8.
Teddy Atlas went all the way across the ring and dragged the referee over to tell him, listen, I'm going to tell this man to stop the fight, and I'm letting you and him know right now.
Yeah, he had a big dose of reality, because that's what Mora needs all the time. I cannot figure out why. He's a superior fighter. He just doesn't come in to fight.
I certainly don't have Mora behind, but I'll tell you what, great motivational speech.
There's only one thing left for him to say. Like Angelo Dundee, you're blowing it. You're blowing it. And that's what he was saying in the Holyfield fight to Michael Mora.
I've got him ahead 67-66. Mora, notice that's just 1 point.
I have a 67-65, 2 points. I scored that 1 round 10-8. Wasn't a knockdown, but it was a total cleanup on Botha. And I'll tell you one other thing. I thought he lost the fight to Holyfield by a little bit because of his lackluster performance, and so did Teddy Atlas.
Yeah, I didn't give him the 10-8. That's the difference in our scorecard, but we're both looking at it the same round by round. I mean, I don't understand why he doesn't trigger our points. As tired as both is, as much as the beating he's taking, look at all the punches he got off that last round. There's another right hand.
There it is.
By Frans Botha.
That's what I was waiting for, Michael Mora to come up the middle. All he has to do, he blocks a shot, fire back up the middle. Botha's not picking his hands up, not keeping a tight defense, and Michael's just letting him get away.
For a guy that sits slow and looks this sloppy, he sure is landing an awful lot of punches, is Botha.
Halfway through the 8th.
He is deceptive. Deceptive is the word to use, boy. You just don't think he's going to get it off, and he gets it off.
You know, Freddie, I have to agree with you, because I can't imagine even putting myself in front of Botha, which I've done many times, that he would hit me with some of those punches.
The online scoring, it's tight with the folks around the country. Mora 4 rounds to 3, heading into this 8th.
That's exactly what we've got here, 4-3.
I also have a 4-3, but that extra point with the 10-8 round for being hammered from pillar to post for almost 2 minutes.
The fans have the last 2 rounds for Frans Botha. Less than a minute remaining in round 8. Here comes Mora.
Now he's got to keep going. He doesn't.
Yeah, he allows Botha to come back with a right hook. Botha with another right hook to the head. Counter punch by Mora. Botha misses, and another counter by
I'll
Mora.
tell you what, Botha got his attention a little more than just a little bit. I think he hurt him just temporarily, but Michael, being a consummate pro, came back, covered up.
Swing and a miss, dangerous by Frans Botha.
He is so exhausted, but he still fights. What a buffalo this guy is.
A lot of courage. Frans Botha.
Could it be any greater to set up the Holyfield-Tyson fight than this kind of action?
Yeah, but I'm wondering if Mora isn't losing credibility with every round.
Either that or both is gaining it.
That's what I'm saying, Bobby.
Oh, both has stopped going up no matter what happens after this. Final seconds of round 8.
Listen to me, damn it. You're not listening. You're not listening. You got 12 minutes left. That's 4 rounds. What you do in the next 12 minutes, you're going to have to live with for the next 10, 20, 30, 40 years of your life. Your little son, he's not going to be told that his son beat Holyfield. He's going to be told he lost to a guy named Botha. Frans Botha, who was thought of with no talent. You understand? Anything you feel, he's feeling the same, but worse. You're just not digging. You hear me? And you can't talk about all the things you talk about if you don't perform. Now listen, do you want to live with that the rest of your life? Michael, it's going to happen. You got 12 minutes. You're behind. You understand? It's got to start here.
This guy's looking to fall down,
Now listen,
Mike.
quit giving him the right hand. Move to your right. Double the jab, let the straight left hand go. And inside you have 2 choices. Find ways not to punch or find ways to punch. Come on, Michael. You're giving him the fight.
In what has developed into a war, we enter into round number 9. Frans Botha has the fans behind them.
And Michael Moore came out in that last round fighting, and then all of a sudden let Botha take over and stagger him with the right hand.
You know, if a guy just walked in from the street right now, looked at this fight, he would say, you know, if Botha's getting killed, he must be way behind. Well, he's not.
Not at all. There's a straight right, good head fake by Michael Moore, and he landed flush on the face.
See, that's what he has to do, move off some of Botha's slow, lethargic punches and fire.
Botha off balance.
Botha is exhausted. Bobby, he is there for the taking. He is exhausted.
If Frans Botha were to fight Mike Tyson with no defense like that, that fight cannot go 1 round.
But all the more reason to doubt Michael Moore. He cannot put him away.
That great finishing stuff that he used to have, he doesn't have.
Sometimes Mike is a little too conservative. Sometimes he likes to watch and be a little on the cautious side. Err to the side of caution. Well, that's the way he is.
And Frans Botha with a thumping right hook. He knows if he gets Michael Moore in the later rounds, this is where Moore really gets inconsistent, loses focus, and gets sluggish.
And how can Botha time after time after time, when he looks so tired, get off such hard punches? Well, you got to admire Botha. You got to admire this guy.
Well, he's a tough, gritty guy, Ferdy. I don't think there's any quit in him, but I don't think he has the natural talent of a Michael Moore or other fighters, and it's really taking its toll on him now late. It may be the difference in this fight.
And he feels he's the champion. He had it stripped because of steroids. He claims it was prescribed by a doctor. He did beat Schultz.
But you know what? He's the one that's got the championship heart in here.
Yes.
He's the one that's coming back from nowhere and coming back again and again. And the guy that's better and the guy that should be knocking him out doesn't have the championship.
You know, as a light heavyweight, Michael Moore was a great finisher as a heavyweight. He lost that reputation because he couldn't put the bigger guys away, and they also were able to hurt him a little easier. So that's something we also have to keep an eye on.
Oh, Moore with a quick straight right hand. Now he backs Botha up. Botha has his hands down low. Moore works in his head. Here comes Botha again with a right hook. Look at this man, Botha.
This is Botha's kind of barroom brawl.
Botha again looked down and out, and he comes barreling back. Oh, what a sweeping shot by Botha. Again, they go toe-to-toe in furious fashion. And the time left, 20 seconds. Round 9.
What a heart on Frans Botha. What a heart on this man.
He seemingly has nothing left, and he continues to come back.
He has a great chin and he has a great heart, but it's not always going to be enough by themselves. He's got to score.
How? You go out, give me a ring.
You meet off a spine.
Okay?
Spine in the floor.
Hey, champion. God damn it, you think you want it?
Watch Moore as it looks like he's got him going. Looks like, oh, that's it, going in the corner. It's going to be all over with. And now watch the way Frans, look at all these shots he's taking. Looks like, well, that's all, this is going to be over. And now here he comes back again and again. And both is still punching with both arms. And now all of a sudden he puts Moore on the ropes. I mean, the man is incredible. He doesn't look like anything, but he keeps beating Moore off. Well, this is some fight, Bobby. This is some fight.
This turned out to be a much better fight than I anticipated. I didn't think it was going to mount like this and be warfare.
Totally unexpected. Botha a 5-1 underdog. He told us yesterday he'd win because of his new conditioning program, because of his chin and his heart. He's been training hard against southpaws. Time called by Mills Lane.
That was down low. Now come on, okay?
Watch the low blows. Both are looking exhausted with a minute left in round 9. He has to go about 9 more minutes. A good left straight hand there by Michael Moore, sending Botha back.
That's the move. See what Michael did? He slipped off that right hand and fired over the top. He missed his shot, but that is one of the moves where he's going to catch Botha, and it's going to be good night.
Botha feels that Moore was taking him too lightly, going in, looking ahead to either Tyson or Holyfield. And Frans Botha, hate to sound like a broken record, but displaying an immense heart here.
And jaw.
Absolutely.
You know, I think we all knew he had a pretty good jaw, and as they say, the beard is in place. But what I can't imagine, he looks so tired to start every round, and he just fights back, and he never seems to completely blow out of gas, but always looks exhausted.
Yeah, it looks like one of those phony Hollywood movies, you know, where the hero is always taking a beating and comes back. I mean, this doesn't seem real.
Does Rocky ring a bell?
Yeah, it does. This is a script.
Michael Moore has had a problem not only in the later rounds with the heavyweights, but finishing off legitimate heavyweights, big-sized men, not small heavyweights like a Burt Cooper, but big men like this. And even Evander, who's not a big man, who he hit hard, he couldn't get off his feet. So this is something that has to be in Michael Moore's mind as well.
Again, both are off the ropes dangerously. Moore did tell us he's not looking past Botha.
Well, it's a good thing he said that, because he is
not coming through here.
I have more ahead. I don't know what the Vegas judges have it. I could be any which way. Any which way.
Final minute of the 10th round.
It's fairly close, but I think Michael Moore is definitely in command.
Oh,
I think he has done what he had to.
Vicious right uppercut just at the belt by Frans Botha. That's got to take some steam out of you. And now here comes Moore.
Now, if he just stayed there and punched, he lets him get away.
Oh, a straight right hand by Moore. That startled Botha.
That was just a jab, Steve, a good shotgun jab. Botha's defense is not there. And I'm amazed at how slow some of those punches are going that Michael Moore's getting hit with them. I mean, they're being sent by Pony Express. It's unbelievable.
Botha telegraphing those punches like there. And a counter right. Couple of rights by Michael Moore. But what keeps Botha up? Moore has tremendous power. Now he's all over Botha in the final seconds of the 10th.
But if there was another minute, this fight wouldn't go.
Big finish for Moore.
You're going to win the fight. You're going to win the fight. All right, you got 6 minutes. You got 6 minutes. Francois, here. You got 6 minutes, goddammit. 6 minutes and the fight is over. You're going to win the fight. Now, come on. Sit up, sit up, sit up. Keep your goddamn hands up, you understand? Give me the towel. Give me a rag. Give me a round. Give me a shot.
Here you see Michael Moore doing what he's supposed to do. Now he's working, sticking that stiff jab like a shotgun jab. Coming with a right hand. He's a little too quick there. He's not got his feet planted, but he's coming on. He's ripping on the inside. He's working. It's late. He wants this decision if it has to be one.
Michael. They got to continue following.
The final words of Teddy Atlas and Lou Duva, knockout power. The words from Lou Duva's mouth as we enter the championship rounds. How the judges see this is increasingly crucial. Low blow by Frans Botha.
Time! Come here, Frans. Time. Go over here. Go over here. Come here. It's okay. Come here.
Oh, too much gunk around the right eye.
Yeah, look at it. Look at it. Too much.
Too much. Oh, here we go. Time. Let's go. Come on, come on.
The Vaseline on the eye to moisturize the skin to try and prevent cuts. And that was
too much.
Way too much.
They just didn't take it off.
Here comes Michael Moore again with that straight left. The southpaw is looking to dig in on Botha. Will the judges be influenced by the long looping big punches by Botha, or will they see it as a win by the champion?
I can empathize for the second time as watching Michael Moore over the years and being a fan of his as well. Teddy Atlas's problem, because it appears almost that if Michael Moore lights a fire for a good minute, this fight is over. Botha looks that tired and that beat. But he comes back with that right hand and again, and there it is. Power. As I say it, there it is.
And then Botha answered back with a short, crisp right hand.
But it looks like when he's so exhausted, it looks like all of a sudden he comes up 2 jabs and a right hand real fast. That's amazing.
Moore up 6-4 as far as the online voting is concerned. Moore got the last 2 rounds at home.
I got 6-4 as well, but I also have the extra point because of the big staggering job that was done early in the fight in the 3rd round.
This is where Botha's new conditioning program really pays off. He said he's in great shape, breathing better. And he continues to hang tough. Straight right hand by Michael Moore. It's that jab that's penetrating, and now the left. The combination by Moore.
See, there's where it could end, and Moore went back. He's just nailed him 4 or 5 huge shots, and he went back.
But he doesn't finish Botha off.
Michael Moore's jab is going to drop Frans Botha at this pace. He's stepping in with a jab, and Botha's walking right into it.
Botha having his way now.
Botha's on the way.
Final minute of the 11th round. Botha in trouble. Moore smothering him with punches. And weak punches by Botha.
Botha is too exhausted now to hurt Moore, and that is going to be the beginning of his demise.
And Moore knows it. He continues to bore in.
He just doesn't even have it to throw the punch.
Oh, there's the right hook, and he throws Botha down. But they're calling it an official knockdown.
5, 6.
Botha gets up quickly
7,
on 5.
Hey, how we doing?
You know, he was hurt, and he might have been on his way to the floor, but Michael helped him with a little shove.
Exactly. Final seconds of round 11. 10 seconds. Botha is out of it. There's another straight right hand. It's the jab of Michael Moore doing the damage. He goes into the ropes. He goes down. He's counting. He can only be 4. He's counting him.
That knockdown was before the round was over. He has to take the mandatory 8 count.
The bell cannot save a fighter in any round. IBF rules.
You're giving the fight away.
That's a
You got 3 minutes. Come on. Here. Come on, Francois. Wake up. All right. Give me a rag, Mario. Come on, Francois. If you give me 3 minutes, you're gonna win the goddamn fight. You hear me? Give me 3 minutes. Come on, Francois. Come on, sit up. We gotta finish the 12th round. Last round. The last round. You stand up. Can you get it out?
All right, let's take a look at that first knockdown. And this, believe me when I tell you, that's a great right hand. This is a product of exhaustion. More Frans Botha's exhaustion. Bobby.
Take a look at the second knockdown. Here's a good, crisp right hook, and he was on his way. His legs gave out. He just slumped along the ropes. Down he goes.
The fight of the night to this point as we enter round 12. They'll touch gloves, and here we go. Botha down twice in the last round. 33 seconds left, and at the 0-0 mark.
I don't think Botha's going to finish this round if Michael Moore stays on track.
Mills Lane.
This fight's over.
Steps in and stops the fight early in round 12. And Michael Moore gets the embrace from Teddy Atlas.
Great fight. Good finish.
Very dramatic in the corner of Mike.